I did not and could not envision a future. It was so dark. I was in such a bad place, and having no one around me to help through what I was experiencing, and not knowing what to do, and then to suddenly be given, you know, this restart, this new life. Uh, it's been incredible. I was homeless. I was living in my car, struggling to make ends meet with the part-time job that I had, and my addiction at the time that I was experiencing really brought me to this place of I needed to change. I put a plan in motion and got a call Tuesday morning from child welfare saying that they needed to bring me in. I went into social services and he provided me the information about what was being reported and what he had investigated on. But he had mentioned that, hey, in talking to family and to the children, it was said that you have, a drug problem. I remember the time of day. I remember everything about it so vividly of opening my car door and stepping out and suddenly realizing, oh my gosh, I actually have help right now. I have a place to stay. I have support and people that are coming to me right now to help. My life had become unmanageable by me, and I needed that extra support. And I was pointed in the right direction, and the path was being laid for me with the possibilities. I was about 3 months into services at Drug and Alcohol when I got the call that my children were removed from their mom due to neglect. And when I felt very scared, very, very nervous. I didn't know how to process that. At this point, I had 3 months sobriety. I started getting some clarity in my mind. I was still working on myself in managing my emotions, mindset, direction, and my therapist was able to walk me through this and walk me through what this means and what the next steps are. After getting the information about going to court and there was going to be a case plan, and seeing everything that was going to be expected of me from that case plan, I did have the challenge of how to meet all of them. I was working 6 days a week, and I had scheduled visitations in multiple days in the week, on top of individual therapy, on top of an anger management class, and on top of still color testing once a week. It was difficult. It was hard to meet all of those challenges and having that responsibility of meeting my children's varying needs. And I remember distinctly the day when I was invited to a CFT, and I went, what's a CFT? And then, oh, it's a child and family team meeting. It was in that meeting that I got to really experience really the hardships. And it was very, I remember breaking down and crying afterwards, because I just, even now, after so many years in talking about it and thinking about it, I just remember feeling the guilt and the shame of what I had done and what I had caused. And it really helped define me on what I need to do. I started having my own thoughts and self-direction again. For the first time, there was people around me supporting me in and giving me that encouragement to bring the children back home to me. That people just wanted to earnestly get to know me and who I was, and to help me in this process in being with my children. I hadn't had that in a long time. I never felt that I was just another person on her caseload. I really felt I was the only one on her caseload. She was able to look beyond with what was on paper about me, and really took the time to get to know me. We were coming up to 4 weeks before our final court hearing I was getting near that 2-year mark where that next court report, wasn't going to necessarily be favorable because of me not being able to find housing. And my team had come together, and my parent partner at the time, we had been working, months to try to find housing, and guess we found one. I remember having a conversation with my social worker, and she says, "You realize I have to rewrite my whole court report." But she said, "You know what? I can't tell you how happy I am to have to rewrite it." I never gave up, and I kept putting, those efforts forward into bringing the children home, and they did, December 23rd, and I was able to spend Christmas with my family for the first time in a very long time. I think if you were to look at me on paper, you would see, why would we ever place any children with this guy? And I knew deep down I wasn't that person, but at the same time, I wasn't speaking up for myself. I wasn't trying to address, any of the concerns. I had isolated myself and removed myself primarily because of shame. My recovery has taught me to be present, to have a present-centered life, and from that, I'm able to be available to my kids when they need me. I really know the type of father I want to be, in being present and available, and being able to have that emotional and connection with my children, and develop the understanding of trust and what that means. Because when you think of the word relationship, all the things that should come along with that is trust, compassion, empathy, and closeness. And I'm able to be there for them now in that way. So what a person is about to experience in working with child welfare, it's not something that's said and done. It's something that's developed through time. So after Christmas and the 30-day visitation began, and it was moving day, kids were coming home, and it was on that day when I met my new social worker, Allison.
I knew that Robert's success, a lot of Robert's success was going to be based on his relationship with me in the department. I, being new on the team, relied a lot on the relationships that were already there. So a lot on the child and family team, the relationship he had with his case managers and the therapist. My default always when interacting with Robert and his family was that you're the expert on your family, and it's not anyone else in this room, it's you. Utilizing the support network to come in and just make Robert feel, not isolated, not alone.
They helped give me a foundation to build from. And then as I started to take lead and to build myself up further, I was able to lean on my personal supports to help reframe, things as time went on.
Child welfare is temporary, and so and all of the formal supports in Robert's family and in all of our families are temporary. And so bringing in those natural people that can be there for Robert and his kids forever was a huge piece to make sure that, all the work that Robert had been doing over the reunification time really stuck.
I was now in a place where I was the one making those decisions, and I had my team to bounce those ideas off of, and they were helping me and guiding me through the direction I was going to take my family. My responsibilities as a parent is not only just keeping the children physically safe, but what safety actually means. It doesn't mean just physically, it means mentally and emotionally safe. Because yes, everybody was leaving me, but my family members and those friendships were going to remain after when my services were gone. I currently work for the agency that was providing the WRAP services to my family. I've been with them for over 5 years, and I work in a specialty mental health program for them as a family specialist. And in my role, I'm able to help other families, go through similar experiences and challenges that I had gone through. A lot of those principles and things that I learned, I'm able to pass on to my families, and I'm able to walk them through the same strategies that was used on me. I'm now able to use with them and to pass on that knowledge and that experience that I had.
I think that was a huge full circle moment. I mean, it just happened the other day when
Yeah.
Robert and I were sitting in a family's home together next to each other on the couch in a professional capacity, speaking to a family together. That was a really cool experience.
From that structure and that foundation that I was helped with, all those years ago, that's what was built. It helped change the direction of 5 different lives to where they're living and thriving now and developing their own lives and goals and life goals. And if it wasn't for the support that I had from the Department of Child Welfare, Drug and Alcohol, and everyone around me, I really can't say where they would be at. I have a foundation now that I can stand firm on, and I have tools and a mindset of how to support my children when things do come up. I still have challenges in my life, but it's not chaos. Now we're able to experience just being together. We're able to enjoy each day